There's something strange about those random itches you get, the ones that show up without warning, without cause. No bug bite, no dry skin, just an itch that won't go away. Most people ignore it, but what if those sensations weren't random at all? What if your body, right now, is trying to tell you something through the only language it knows? Spiritual energy moves in mysterious ways, and sometimes it speaks through your skin. Ancient cultural beliefs, from India to the Celtic lands, have long understood that certain itches carry meaning. An itchy palm could point to money coming your way or loss. An itchy head might mean spiritual awakening is knocking at your door. But no one talks about this. It's the kind of knowledge kept out of the mainstream, buried in Indian scriptures, folklore, and sacred traditions passed down in whispers. And listen, if you've ever felt there's more to your body than flesh and bone, this is the video you've been waiting for. I'm about to walk you through a forgotten system of signs that link every part of your skin to emotional, spiritual, and energetic shifts. You won't find this in textbooks, and if you're serious about understanding your body's secret language, make sure you subscribe to the channel now, so you're never left in the dark again. Because once you see what's really behind these itches, you'll realize your body has been speaking all along. You just haven't been listening. Until now, have you ever stopped and wondered if your body is trying to say something without words, without warning? That annoying itchy palm, or sudden scratch behind your ear? What if it wasn't just physical? In many spiritual traditions, every sensation, especially an itch, can be seen as a subtle whisper from your energy field, or even a nudge from the universe. Think of it like your soul tapping on the inside of your skin, trying to get your attention. That alone changes everything, doesn't it? People often think of their bodies like machines: input, output, fix the pain, move on. But what if we've been missing the point? What if each itch was a coded message, inviting you to pause and tune in? Spiritual teachers across cultures have emphasized for centuries that the body is not just a vessel, but a sacred communicator. And when it comes to itching, that message might be far more precise than we think, especially when it repeats or hits specific areas like the head, palm, or foot. So the next time your skin tingles, instead of rushing for lotion or ignoring it, try this. Take a breath, place your hand over the spot, and ask, what's shifting in me right now? Is it my energy, a thought, a buried emotion? This small ritual can completely shift how you interpret your physical world. And once you learn the deeper meanings tied to each area of the body, like the itchy head or hand, the picture becomes even more intriguing. Every inch of our body holds meaning, not just anatomically, but energetically and spiritually. That's why when a specific spot starts to itch, it's rarely random. It might sound strange at first, but countless traditions believe that the body reflects the mind and soul like a mirror. An itchy head, it could mean your thoughts are spinning out of control, clouded by doubt or overthinking. It's your inner voice asking for silence, for clarity, for a mental reset. Now think about itchy feet. Ever had that urge to scratch them when nothing seems physically wrong? In the spiritual realm, that often symbolizes restlessness. Maybe you're standing still in life when you should be moving. Maybe a decision is overdue, or you're walking a path that no longer aligns with your values. It's like your energy is saying, let's go, while your fears keep whispering, stay put. And that inner tug of war, it shows up right at your soul's. Let's go deeper. Imagine someone going through burnout at work. Their scalp starts itching non-stop, even without any medical cause. Instead of popping an antihistamine, maybe the right move is meditating for 10 minutes, journaling the mental clutter, or reading something that brings clarity like The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. The itch might stop once the chaos calms inside. Each itch has a location, and each location tells a story. The more you start listening to your body in this way, the more you'll see patterns that reflect your spiritual energy, emotional state, and even your cultural beliefs, especially when we begin exploring what different traditions say about these messages. In many cultures around the world, an itch isn't just a biological reflex, it's a spiritual sign. You've probably heard someone say, "My ears are burning, someone must be talking about me." That idea isn't just superstition. It's rooted in deep cultural beliefs. Different civilizations from African to Asian to indigenous have passed down stories associating specific itches with spiritual communication. The deeper meaning: your body is reacting to unseen energy moving through or around you. Take India, for example. In Hindu tradition, an itchy palm can mean something quite specific depending on which hand it is, your gender, and the context. But we'll get to that soon. For now, just know that the itchy palm is one of the most universally interpreted sensations across spiritual systems. It's the body's way of letting you know, hey, energy is shifting, pay attention. It might be love, luck, money, or even a warning. Other cultures go even further. In certain African spiritual systems, an itchy ear might mean your ancestors are trying to communicate with you. In Latin America, an itchy nose could suggest an unexpected guest or a sudden conflict. The interpretations vary, but the message is consistent. The body is not just physical, it's spiritual. And when it itches, it speaks a language older than words. This is where things start to get beautifully personal. Imagine someone raised in a Western medical framework, suddenly experiencing an unexplained itching sensation over days. They go to doctors, they try creams, but nothing works. Then a grandmother steps in and says, someone's thinking about you, maybe pray. That blend of intuition and tradition brings a sense of spiritual connection that no pill ever could. The beauty of these cultural beliefs lies in their power to bring awareness. They invite us to see patterns, emotions, and energetic changes through a spiritual lens. And the more you explore these traditions, especially the ancient ones, the more you realize that something as small as an itch may be part of a bigger spiritual dialogue, one that becomes even more specific when we talk about something like an itchy right palm. Throughout history, the itchy right palm has stirred both excitement and superstition. In ancient Celtic and Saxon cultures, this sensation was a clear sign that money was coming your way. No bank alerts, no spreadsheets, just your skin reacting to spiritual energy. Even today, many people will smile and say, I must be getting paid soon, when they feel it. It's fascinating how such a small sensation can hold such powerful meaning across time. But things get even more layered when we step into Hindu teachings. In Indian spiritual systems, the meaning of an itchy palm isn't just about which hand, it also depends on your gender. If a man's right palm itches, it's considered a sign of incoming wealth or opportunity. But for women, it often signals the opposite of potential loss. This division is rooted in the association of the right side with masculine, action-oriented energy in Indian scriptures. Let's say you're a man working hard toward a business deal, and suddenly your right hand begins to itch. Rather than ignoring it, some might take that as a spiritual green light, a cue to act boldly, to close that sale, to trust your timing. It might sound superstitious, but this is exactly how spiritual practices turn into powerful inner guidance. They frame intuition as something to honor, not ignore. On the flip side, if a woman feels her right palm itching, traditional interpretations might advise caution with spending or making big moves. Again, this isn't about limiting beliefs, about understanding energy. In spiritual teachings, the right hand represents output, giving, doing, acting, so that itch could be the body's subtle way of saying, hold on, reassess before moving forward. No matter your cultural background, the itchy right palm remains a mysterious and symbolic signal. It carries a whisper of potential, especially when aligned with your intentions and current actions. And if you thought this was intriguing, wait until you explore what ancient Indian scriptures say about this very sensation, and how it goes beyond money into the realms of intuition and spiritual transformation. In the sacred world of Indian scriptures, especially the Samudrik Shastra, the body is read like a divine map. This ancient text doesn't just interpret facial features or lines on your palm, it also decodes bodily sensations, including something as simple as an itchy right palm. But here's the twist. In this context, the itch isn't just about receiving money, it's about receiving guidance, a call to step into alignment with your spiritual path. The right palm, symbolizing action and manifestation, becomes a gateway for energy flow. When it itches, the signal might not be money's coming. It could mean clarity is coming. Something inside you is preparing to act, to move, to decide. And in a world full of hesitation and second-guessing, that internal push is worth gold. In spiritual terms, it's like your higher self gently shaking you by the wrist and saying, it's time, trust yourself. Let's make this practical. Imagine someone's feeling torn between two life paths, staying in a stable job or launching a passion project. Suddenly, they notice an intense itch in their right palm. Instead of brushing it off, they pause, reflect, and ask themselves, What decision have I been avoiding? That moment of mindfulness, sparked by a bodily signal, becomes the starting point for inner clarity, its energy manifesting as movement. The Samdrik Shastra teaches that when the body reacts, it's often echoing what the soul already knows. The right palm, in this case, becomes both a spiritual compass and a mirror, and when the message comes, it's rarely loud. It whispers. That's why tuning into your body with reverence rather than irritation can lead to breakthroughs. And when we start seeing the body as a tool for spiritual growth, everything changes. So the next time your right palm tingles out of nowhere, pause before you scratch. Ask yourself, what am I being called to act on? Where is my energy ready to go? Because sometimes, it's not about what's coming to you, it's about what you're finally ready to reach for. And if the right palm is about action, you can bet the left palm has a whole different story to tell. While the right palm calls for action, the left palm leans into reception, is the energy of allowing, of feeling, of being in flow. Across many spiritual traditions, the left side of the body is linked to the feminine principle, intuition, emotion, empathy. So when your left hand itches, it might not be about what you're doing, it's about what you're opening yourself to receive. Sometimes that's a gift, sometimes a message, sometimes ... a truth you've been avoiding. In Hindu belief systems and Indian scriptures, this sensation often whispers of incoming emotional shifts. It could be a sign that something is ready to be released, grief, anger, a memory, or that your heart is preparing to receive something new. Itching on the left palm isn't a call to run or act. It's a call to sit with what's stirring inside, to soften instead of control. And that, my friend, is a rare kind of power. Let's bring this into real life. Imagine someone's left hand starts to itch before a difficult conversation. That might be your energy preparing you for emotional vulnerability. Or let's say it happens before meeting a new person. Maybe it's your spiritual body recognizing an upcoming connection. In both cases, the itch is an invitation, not to fix, but to feel, to lean in with compassion instead of judgment. Some healers even say that when the left hand itches, it's time to give generously of your time, your heart, your listening. Or maybe, it's time to forgive. These aren't always easy things to do, especially in a world that glorifies hustle over harmony. But tuning into this softer energy, your intuitive side, can open doors that brute force never could. This is where spiritual depth begins to blossom. And while the palm is powerful, it's not the only place the body speaks this way. One of the most intriguing messages comes from our foundation, from the very place our energy connects to the earth. That's right, the feet. And when they start to itch, they have something surprisingly deep to say. Your feet are your roots. They carry you, connect you to the earth, and ground your energy. So when they start to itch, it's never just a physical tick, a message. In spiritual circles, especially those influenced by traditional Chinese medicine, an itchy foot can be a cue that something deeper is shifting. And depending on the side, the meaning changes dramatically. It's a subtle signal that your spiritual direction might be calling for attention. Let's start with the left foot. If it begins to itch, it's often a reminder to slow down, to reconnect with your foundation. Think of it as a cosmic speed bump. Maybe you've been running on autopilot or ignoring your emotional balance. The itch could be telling you, pause, breathe, regroup. In cultural beliefs, the left side often represents the past, your subconscious, and what needs healing before you can truly move forward now. Flip to the right foot, and itched there is often seen as a sign that it's time to step into something new. It represents forward motion, bold decisions, and even spiritual courage. It might come right before a job change, a trip, or a conversation you've been avoiding. The sensation isn't random, it's movement trying to happen inside you, calling you to trust the next step, even if it's not fully visible yet. In traditional Chinese medicine, specific parts of the foot correspond to different internal organs. An itch in the arch might relate to the liver or emotional stagnation. An itchy toe, it might suggest tension in the head or a decision you're avoiding. It's like having a spiritual map right under your feet. If you learn to read it, you'll discover where the body and spiritual messages align in powerful ways. It's incredible how a small itch on your foot can hold such symbolic meaning. And the higher up the body we go, the more cerebral and introspective the messages become. In fact, the head, your mental and spiritual center, has its own language when it comes to these sudden, unexplained sensations. An itchy head might seem like nothing more than a momentary annoyance, but in the spiritual realm, it's often a signal from the mind and soul trying to sync up. This sensation is frequently linked to mental clutter, racing thoughts, or even the beginning of an awakening process. When your crown itches, it's not asking for shampoo, might be asking for stillness, a call to clear space, mentally and energetically. In many cultural beliefs, the head is seen as the seat of consciousness. So when this area becomes active with sensation, it can indicate a surge of energy moving through your crown chakras. If you've been meditating, journaling, or questioning life in deep ways, some traditions believe this signals a download of insight or a spiritual upgrade. The brain may not be aware, but your energetic body is already buzzing. Picture someone who's been overwhelmed, scrolling non-stop, juggling tasks, ignoring rest. Suddenly, their scalp starts itching daily. That might not be dry skin, it might be a cry for mindfulness. Practical tip: try setting aside 10 minutes each day for silent reflection, even if it's just sitting in nature or closing your eyes in a quiet room. That alone can shift your spiritual and mental energy, quieting the itch from within. There's also a humorous truth to this. The more we ignore our inner world, the louder it gets even through our skin. Some even say an itchy crown can mark the beginning of a shift in belief, identity, or purpose. It's like a cosmic initiation. So instead of rushing to scratch, consider pausing to ask, what truth is trying to rise in me right now? That question alone can open the door to profound transformation. And if the head represents thought, the arms and hands constantly in motion are tied to expression, creativity, and the act of shaping reality. So when they start to itch, it's no accident either. When your arms or hands begin to itch, don't rush to dismiss it. It could be your energy trying to create something new. Spiritually, your arms extend from the heart, making them channels of emotional expression. So when they start tingling or itching, it might mean one thing: your heart has something to release. Whether it's joy, grief, or passion, that spiritual signal is encouraging movement, emotional or creative. Your hands, on the other hand, no pun intended, are powerful tools of manifestation. They shape, hold, offer, and heal. In many cultural beliefs, itchy hands can symbolize the urge to act, to build something, to touch someone's life, or even to let go. When this sensation comes unexpectedly, ask yourself, what am I holding that I no longer need, or what's inside me that's ready to come out? Creativity often begins in the fingertips. Here's a practical example. A writer stuck in creative block begins feeling an itch on their forearm that won't go away. They finally sit down and let the words flow in. The itching fades. Coincidence? Possibly. But in the spiritual view, it's more likely energy seeking expression. Painting, playing music, dancing, even cooking with passion, these can all serve as outlets for the messages your body is itching to release. There's also a healing side to this. In Reiki and energy healing practices, hands are used to transmit warmth, comfort, and energy. So if your palms are itching, it might be your body waking up that inner healer, nudging you toward touch-based practices or even emotional connection. Whether it's hugging someone you've been distant from, or volunteering your time, your energy may be craving purpose. And if every itch is a sign, then each one becomes a part of a larger message, something your body and spirit are working together to say. Because when we put all these clues together from scalp to soul, what we find is not just irritation, but invitation, an invitation that becomes clear in the final insight this journey brings. What if every itch you've ever ignored was actually trying to tell you something? That tiny spark on your skin might have carried a spiritual signal about money, love, purpose, or healing. When we stop treating our body like a malfunctioning machine and start treating it like a messenger, everything changes. Suddenly, every sensation becomes a doorway into understanding ourselves on a deeper level. The truth is, your body is constantly speaking. A tingling hand could point to financial movement. An itchy scalp might mean a breakthrough is brewing. Even an irritated arm could reflect a suppressed emotion or untapped creativity. Each sensation is a reflection of your energy or inner world, sending subtle signals through the outer form. The question is, are you paying attention? One of the most powerful things you can do is start tracking your itches, not in a medical journal, but in a spiritual one. Ask yourself, where did it start? What was I thinking? What was I avoiding? You'll begin to notice patterns, messages, even guidance. This simple practice of noticing can open the door to healing and emotional release. Your body becomes not just a temple, but a teacher. And here's the part people often overlook. When you listen to your body, it begins to trust you back. It speaks more clearly. Your intuition sharpens. Your sense of timing improves. You feel more connected not just to yourself, but to something bigger, maybe even the universe itself. It's all about learning to tune in, to trust, and to move with intention. So as this journey through the body's secret language draws to a pause, there's one final invitation. Reflect on your own story. What's your body been trying to tell you lately? What part of your skin is asking for your attention, not your dismissal? Because the wisdom is there, and the moment you stop scratching and start listening, something remarkable begins to unfold. So now you know what once felt like a meaningless itch might have been a spiritual message all along. The next time it happens, will you ignore it, or will you finally stop and listen? Your body isn't just reacting, it's revealing. And once you start connecting the dots between your physical sensations and your emotional or energetic state, a new level of awareness opens up. What part of your body has been calling for attention lately? What itch have you been brushing off physically or have you noticed any patterns between these sensations and moments of stress, decision, or spiritual clarity? Drop your experiences in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Because when we share, we don't just learn, we awaken together. And here's the truth. Your journey into this deeper knowledge is just beginning. If this video opened your eyes to something powerful, then imagine what more we'll uncover together. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the next time your own body is trying to speak, and you'll finally be ready to understand what it's been saying all along.